Let me tell you the cold, hard truth. Modern men are weak, pathetic, emotionally neutered, and spiritually dead. And do you know why? Because they worship women. They've been brainwashed to believe that a woman's attention is the pinnacle of achievement, the ultimate validation of their worth. You've got 19-year-old guys scrolling through Instagram for 6 hours a day, double tapping bikini pics, sipping in DM, paying for OnlyFans like it's a religion. What the hell happened to masculine pride? What happened to chasing greatness, chasing legacy, chasing power? Nah. Now we've got a generation of soft little boys who live and die by whether or not some chick sends them a heart emoji. Let me explain something to you. The moment you start treating a woman like she's the prize, you've already lost. That's not how this game works. You're the prize. You're the prize. You're the one with the mission. You're the one building the empire. You're the one going to war every day in business, fitness, life. And the second you put a woman on a pedestal, you're telling yourself that she's more valuable than your mission. That she's more important than your growth, your grind, your future. And here's the matrix level manipulation. Society tells men that being submissive, emotional, and desperate for female approval is irromantic. They call it love. Nah, bro, that ain't love. That's enslavement. That's weakness disguised as virtue. You're not being noble, you're being used. Let me break it down with zero filter. A high-value man doesn't chase women, he chases excellence. And excellence is what attracts women naturally. When you become the man, rich, jacked, dangerous, wise, they flock to you like moths to a flame. But if you chase them, if you cry about not getting a reply, if you spend your nights texting paragraphs to a girl who doesn't respect you, you've already signed your own death warrant. You've sacrificed your masculine edge. A woman respects a man who doesn't need her. That's the irony. The more you chase, the less she wants you. The more you focus on your grind and ignore her games, the more she starts chasing you. That's the game. The man who has options wins. The man who's not afraid to walk away wins. The man who says, I don't need your validation, I validate myself, is the man she dreams about at night. But the average guy? He's a clown. He sends flowers to a girl who ghosted him. He buys dinner for someone who doesn't respect his time. He lets a girl tell him how to live, how to dress, what to do, where to go, like a little puppet. It's embarrassing, and it's because he was never taught what real masculinity is. He was never taught that dominance, discipline, and detachment are the holy trinity of power. You want to know why you're miserable? Why your life feels empty? Why nothing seems to click? Because you've been conditioned to seek happiness through women instead of through self-mastery. You think getting a girlfriend is going to fix your broken bank account, your skinny arms, your lack of purpose? Newsflash, if you're a loser without a woman, you'll be an even bigger loser with one. You want a woman to respect you? Then build yourself into something respectable. Hit the gym, stack your cash, read the damn books, become lethal in every room you walk into. Be the man who doesn't beg, who doesn't chase, who doesn't fold when a woman gives him attitude. That's attractive. That's dangerous. That's masculine energy. This world doesn't reward the weak. The weak. It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care that you're heartbroken or lonely. What it cares about is whether you're useful, whether you're dominant, whether you're a man who can't be ignored. So stop worshiping women like they're goddesses. They're not. They're human beings. Beautiful, emotional, chaotic creatures, but not your saviors. You're your own savior. You're the hero of your life. And the second you reclaim that power, the second you stop simping and start dominating, everything changes. Women want to follow a man who leads, not a man who cries. Not a man who cries. Not a man who texts a good morning beautiful to 20 different girls hoping one of them replies. They want the man who's too busy building his empire to care. The man who walks in the room and owns it. The man who says, I'm not chasing you. You can come along for the ride or stay behind. That's the energy that wins. So wake up. Cut off the porn. Delete the dating apps. Hit the King Gym. Get your money right. Read something other than tweets. And remember, you're not here to worship women. You're here to build a kingdom so powerful they worship you. That's how you rise. That's how you dominate. That's Tate Mindset. Let's get something straight. The second a man starts worshiping a woman, he kills his own masculinity. The two cannot coexist. You cannot be dominant, disciplined, and dangerous while begging for attention like a starving dog. Masculinity isn't built through neediness. It's forged in fire, in solitude, in the relentless pursuit of greatness. But the modern man, he's a product of society's programming. He's been taught that the highest achievement in life is making a woman smile, that his job is to be agreeable, soft, emotionally available. That's weak. Worship is reserved for the divine, for gods, for legacy, not for a girl with 12 filters on Instagram who doesn't even know how to boil rice. You put her on a pedestal, she'll look down on you. That's how this works. A man who worships a woman stops leading. She starts reacting. And when a man stops leading, she loses respect for him. Respect is the oxygen of attraction. Without it, the whole thing dies. You see, a real man doesn't orbit around a woman's mood swings. He doesn't structure his life around her texts. He doesn't mold his personality to keep her happy. For happy. That's what weak men do. That's what simps do. A real man has vision. He's too busy executing, too busy building his empire, too busy making himself a weapon of influence and dominance to be chasing women all day. And here's the wild part. When you don't worship women, when you stop giving a damn about impressing them, when you stop trying so hard, that's when they want you the most. That's the paradox. Masculine energy attracts feminine energy, not emotional begging, not approval seeking, not this a please choose me behavior you see everywhere now. When a man is full in his purpose, she feels it. She's drawn to it like gravity. But when a man becomes needy, emotional, desperate, she pulls away because on a primal level, she knows this man cannot protect, cannot provide, cannot lead. I cower. Worshipping women turns men into slaves, emotional slaves, financial slaves, sexual slaves. You see it all the time. Dudes giving away their money, their time, their sanity, all for a chance at attention from a woman who doesn't even respect them. And for what? To feel seen, to feel important. That's weak. Masculinity isn't about being seen. It's about being felt. It's about walking into a room and owning it without saying a word. When you place women above your mission, you lose both. But when you place your mission above everything, they line up to be a part of it. Stop worshiping. Start dominating. Start becoming so powerful that she thanks you for the privilege of being in your life. That's what a real man does. Listen carefully, because this is where most men screw up their entire lives. They think the goal is to get the girl to win her heart, to be the knight in shining armor who sweeps her off her feet and lives happily ever after. But that's a fantasy sold to you by Hollywood, Disney, and the same system that wants to keep you weak. The chase is a trap. It's designed to drain your energy, your focus, your potential. Because while you're out here chasing girls, sliding into DM, planning dates, writing corny good morning texts, the winners are chasing power. The killers are building empires. The real men are obsessed with purpose, not why. They're out earning, outworking, and out-dominating the competition while you're simping for a girl who hasn't replied in 3 hours. Let me tell you something raw. Every minute you spend chasing a woman is a minute you lose chasing your destiny. And what's even worse, she knows it. She knows you're not locked in. She knows your life revolves around her. And the second she knows she's your focus, your obsession, your priority, she loses interest. Because deep down, women don't want to be the center of a man's world. They want to orbit around his. A man with a mission doesn't chase. He attracts. He pulls people into his gravitational field because he's locked in on a purpose so big, so aggressive, so meaningful that the world can't ignore it. You think Elon Musk is sending goodnight texts and stressing about read receipts? Hell no. He's locked in on changing the world. That's why the world bends around him. Purpose is the real prize. It's what separates the men from the boys. Boys chase instant gratification. Quick hits of dopamine, a reply, a hug, a kiss. Men chase legacy. Men are addicted to impact. And when you live like that, when you breathe ambition, when you eat discipline, when your calendar is full of war plans and not dinner reservations, you become unstoppable. Women don't want a man who chases them. They want a man who's too busy winning to notice their games. A man who doesn't flinch when she pulls back. A man who doesn't need her to feel valuable. You stop chasing women when you realize what you're chasing is actually within yourself. Validation, purpose, direction. And when you build that internally, when you find it through your mission, women show up as a byproduct, not a necessity. The chase keeps you distracted. It keeps you average. It keeps you broke, unfocused, and emotionally reactive. That's not the life of a king. Ha! A king builds his kingdom first, then chooses his queen. Not the other way around. Chasing women puts you in slave mode, but chasing purpose, that puts you in God mode. So stop the chase, lock in, get obsessed, build the business, sculpt the body, master the mind. Your future self doesn't care how many girls you texted in 2025. He cares whether you won, whether you built, whether you dominated. This life isn't about chasing her. It's about chasing greatness. That's the prize. That's the Tate mindset. That's the Tate mindset. You ever wonder why simping has become normal? Why it's now socially acceptable, even celebrated, for men to worship women who give them absolutely nothing in return. Why guys are spending their hard-earned money, energy, and self-respect to support women who wouldn't even acknowledge their existence in real life. It's not by accident. It's by design. Simp culture is a weapon. It's engineered by the Matrix, the system, to neutralize men. All to neutralize men. To strip them of their power. To keep them obedient, broken, begging. You think they want you to be strong, rich, dominant? No. They want you in your feelings, emotional, controlled. And the easiest way to control a man is through a woman. Let me break it down. Simping isn't just about guys being soft. It's about mental programming. They've trained men to believe that their entire value comes from how much a woman likes them. That being nice, being agreeable, being passive will somehow earn them love and loyalty. But what does it actually get them? Heartbreak, rejection, bankruptcy, depression. Because simping doesn't build love, it builds resentment. No woman respects a man who sacrifices his mission to serve her comfort. Here's the real truth no one wants to say. The system doesn't fear emotional men. It fears masculine men. It fears masculine men. Men who think for themselves. Men who build. Men who dominate. So how do you kill masculinity? Easy. Glorify simping. Turn men into fans instead of leaders. Turn them into consumers of content instead of creators of reality. OnlyFans, Instagram, TikTok thirst traps. These platforms are flooded with women monetizing male weakness. Why? Because it works. Millions of guys willingly hand over their time, focus, and money for a digital fantasy. They fund these women's lifestyles while starving their own ambitions. It's insanity. It's slavery. Slavery. And they don't even see the chains. And you know what's worse? They defend it. They say, let people enjoy things. You're enjoying your own downfall. You're clapping while they burn your masculine instincts to the ground. That's not enjoyment. That's emasculation. The truth is, simping is spiritual suicide. You're giving away your masculine essence in exchange for nothing. No loyalty, no respect, not even real connection. And while you're simping, guess what the real men are doing? They're building. They're becoming monsters in the gym, wolves in business, killers in life. And they're the ones actually attracting women, not begging for crumbs. You want to know how you win? You reject the simp narrative. You starve the system of your weakness. You reclaim your energy and reinvest it into you. Your body, your money, your mind. You become the man women respect and men admire. You become the man they can't control. You stop simping by remembering this. You are not here to serve women. You are here to build a life so powerful they serve you. Not out of force, but out of respect, out of awe. Are a verb because you became undeniable. Kill the simp in you, or the simp will kill your future. That's how you escape. That's Tate mindset. Let's make one thing brutally clear. The modern man is weak not because he lacks money, muscle, or ambition, but because he's starving for validation from women. His entire identity, his sense of self-worth, his purpose for waking up in the morning, all tied to whether or not a woman likes him, whether she smiles at him, whether she replies, whether she gives him a crumb of attention. That's the disease, and it's killing you from the inside out. Validation from women is the new drug, and like any drug, it feels good in the moment, but it destroys you long term. You're out here chasing likes, comments, hearts, replies, like a fiend. And the worst part? You don't even realize it. You think it's normal. You think it's normal. You think getting girls means you're winning. But what you're really doing is losing control. You've handed your confidence over to someone else. Someone who can rip it away the moment she gets bored. You want to know why men are anxious, depressed, insecure? It's because they've outsourced their masculinity to women. Instead of becoming men of purpose, they've become men of performance, always performing to please her, dressing how she wants, talking how she wants, living how she wants, hoping she gives them a pat on the head like a good little boy. That's not power, that's servitude. You've been trained to believe that her approval makes you, that if she picks you, you've arrived. But what happens when she doesn't? What happens when she chooses someone else? Your whole world falls apart because you never built your identity on something real. You never built it on your purpose, your discipline, your grind. You built it on her opinion? That's weak. That's the blueprint for a broken man. Let me tell you something the world won't. The second you stop needing validation, you become dangerous. The second you stop giving a fag about her approval, her attention, her replies, you unlock a level of freedom most men will never touch. That's when you become magnetic. That's when you walk into a room and command respect without saying a word, because you don't need it. You've already validated yourself. The strongest men, they're not the ones getting the most girls, they're the ones least affected by them. You can take the women away and they're still on fire, still building, still locked in, still dangerous. That's a man who's rooted in himself. That's a man who wins in every room because he doesn't bend to get approval. So how do you kill this weakness? You stop seeking. You start building. You validate yourself every day through action, through your discipline, through your silence, through your results. And when you walk with that energy, when you no longer care if she notices you or not, that's when they all notice. Validation is an inside job. And when you master that, no woman, no rejection, no silence can shake you. You become immovable, untouchable, unstoppable. That's how you destroy weakness. That's how you become a man of power. That's the Tate Mindset. Here's the foundational truth they don't want you to know. Masculinity is mission first, not women, not feelings, not vibes, not relationships. Mission, purpose, calling. The fire that pulls you out of bed at 4 a.m. and makes you lift when your body says no. The vision that makes you sacrifice weekends, ignore distractions, and bleed for something bigger than comfort. Every time in history when men have risen to greatness, when they've built empires, conquered lands, changed the world, it was because they put mission before women. You think Alexander the Great paused to ask what time his girl wanted to FaceTime? You think Caesar worried about being emotionally available during war? No, they were obsessed with domination, obsessed with legacy. And that obsession is what attracted the women, not the other way around. But the modern man, he's soft. He puts women first. He orbits around her mood. He sacrifices his grind for her attention. He slows down his hustle to keep her comfortable, and then he wonders why she loses interest. It's simple. Women don't want to lead. They want to follow a man with a direction so powerful it makes her forget her own. When you put her first, she knows deep down, you're not him. Your mission is your lifeline. It's what gives you your edge, your power, your masculine polarity. Without it, you're just floating, reacting to life instead of driving it. A man without a mission is a man who can be manipulated, distracted, and destroyed. And society knows that. That's why they've told you, be a good boyfriend, be sensitive, put her needs first. They say that because they fear what happens when men wake up and say, okay, that, I've got shit to build. You see, when you prioritize your mission, everything else aligns. Your habits, your schedule, your circle, your mindset, all of it gets sharper. You start filtering people. You stop wasting time. You stop tolerating weakness. You start attracting respect, not just from women, but from the world. Because power respects power. And here's the kicker. When you lock in on your mission, women chase you. Not the other way around. They feel your ambition. They feel your gravity. You become rare, and women are biologically wired to follow strength. They want a man who's going somewhere, not a man who's asking where she wants to go. They want to join the journey, not be the journey. So if you're out here chasing love before you've built yourself, you're setting yourself up to lose. You're putting dessert before the meal. Earn the life. Build the power. Create the options. Then choose the woman, not beg for one. That's what masculine leadership looks like. Masculinity isn't emotional submission, it's emotional control. It's delaying gratification to build something that lasts. It's walking alone when necessary, grinding in silence and letting the results speak. That's how kings are made. That's how legacies are built. So from this day forward, repeat this until it burns into your soul. Mission first, women second, because when you chase the mission, the women chase you. That's the code. That's how you live free. That's the Tate mindset. Now you understand why the modern man is broken and how to rebuild yourself into a machine. You stop chasing women and start chasing purpose. You kill the simp inside you. You rip validation out of her hands and reclaim it for yourself. You stop dancing for attention and start building empires. Because masculinity was never about begging to be chosen. It was about becoming so undeniable. The world has no choice but to notice. Lock in on your mission. Starve your distractions. Build the body, build the bank, build the mindset, and watch how fast the game changes. This is your wake-up call to stop being a boy and start being a force of nature. The world bends to the man who bends to nothing. That's the path. That's the truth. God's the truth. That's the Tate mindset.